I'm Darth Weevil, and you're checking out JC3 and Me with Johnny Costa. I'm Darth Weevil, and you're checking out JC3 and Me with Johnny Costa.
All right. So Darth, what song did you pick and why?
Well, when I first got the invite, I was super excited because this is my favorite show, and I was just thinking to myself, man, it would be cool to be on this show. And then all of a sudden they're like, hey, I wonder if you could come on JC3 Me. And I was like, yeah, that'd be amazing. Then, and they said, pick a song, they said a cover song, but I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to give this a lot of thought because I got to come up with a really good song. But then I got off the phone, and I was just like, it took me like a second. I was like, I don't even think about this at all. I want to play Welcome to My World and cover my man, JC3, on his show.
Dude, that's really cool.
I love the song. It's one of my favorite songs. We played it before with Order 66. I always thought we did a very nice job. It's a very well-written song, man. Like, ever since the first time I heard that song, I think when we first decided to do that song, I think you picked a couple of your different songs to listen to, you know what I mean? As soon as I heard that song, I was just kind of like, this is like a cool song. And, it just grabbed me how it was written. And then we played it and how you and I harmonized and stuff. It sounds very cool. Just the whole groove of the song, the bass, it's kind of funky.
Yeah,
it was a no-brainer.
I had forgotten about that song, to be honest with you, for a long time. And when you picked that, I was genuinely blown away. Like, I have no words to express how I felt. I mean, that was a good feeling, dude. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love the lyrics of the song. I love the chord progression. I love I listen to that song at home, like, you know what I mean? Like, we recorded it with Order 66, just to practice or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's just funky, and I just get it stuck in my head all the time. I'll be like, I'm going to pull up Welcome to My World and listen to that and, jam out a little bit. And so, when it came time to pick a song, it was, I was like thinking a million different songs. And I'm like, man, I'm going to pick something really cool. I got to pick something great for this show. It's my favorite show. I just got invited to it. Thank God and Jesus that I, was lucky enough to be invited and lucky enough to be alive to be here and an interview with you and jam out. But
I'm lucky enough to have you.
Thank you.
You're a vocalist. You're a guitar player.
Yeah.
What else you do with that?
I play bass. I kind of started playing bass just because, until I ran into Paco, or, Paco had other projects going, just out of necessity, or you'd be in a band and the bass player would drop out. It's like, you can find guitar players, you can find drummers, maybe not always as good, you know what I mean? But to find a good, wholesome bass player is pretty tough. So just out of necessity through the years, I just kind of figured I better learn how to sing and play bass. So bass is probably my favorite to play, actually. I play the acoustic guitar. I started off as a drummer. I play like some oddity. I play like ocarina. I play harmonica, some weird shit, you know what I mean? I've had panpipes and stuff I got pretty good at before. If you figure out the notes, an instrument's an instrument, you know what I mean? And then you figure out how to get around on it, so.
Yeah, well, music, you've been around it your entire life.
Yeah, I have. I started my first band, I think I just turned I was technically in a band when I was 16, in the fact that we didn't play any shows, but we did write a song and record it. One song, that was called the Aristocrats, and it was just me and my buddy Brett Weigel. But I started my actual first band. I just turned 17. I was living in my grandma's basement and it had all this 70s kind of hippie stuff, bar set up and all this stuff, and everybody come down and hang out, and we called it the Vault. So then we called the band the Vault, and it was my friends from high school. We started jamming that, just with your buddies, and we just kind of took it everywhere. It was wherever we'd go, we'd take all of our speakers, you know what I mean? And so then there was the party would follow us, and no matter what we were doing, dude. My mom's neighbor must have been the coolest guy in the world, because he one time he came over and he knocked on the door and he said, hey, I got a really important meeting tomorrow. Can you please turn it down? He didn't tell us to turn it off. He said to turn it down. Yes.
So
very cool.
Back in the Vault days, when you would advertise that you're playing somewhere, how did you advertise that?
Well, I've always done a lot of my own advertising, even with my later bands and stuff. I made my own flyers and my websites.
So the reason why I asked that question, I remember back in the day, and I didn't know you then when you were doing the Vault, but I swear I've seen flyers on telephone poles.
There's probably
am I remembering that right? Or?
What you don't know is that we had the Vault Cult, and the Vault Cult was the coolest fans in the land, dude. Like, they would, they'd travel with us. They knew the words to every song. We'd play the County Line Tavern fairly regularly, and it was just so packed you couldn't even move. When we played Pittsburgh, they took bus loads down there. The Vault Cult was, we had a very cool following of people that...
Back then, whenever you were just barely old enough to get into the bars when you're out playing, times were a lot different too. You're out playing till 1:30 in the morning, and everybody's still out there hanging out. Like,
Absolutely.
People didn't even think about going out till, 9:30, 10 p.m.?
Oh, yeah, and it was a different band scene, dude. This was the band scene before radio, any of this, like, mainstream stuff. I remember we were opening for Solar Black at Jay's Bar, you know what I mean? And Mad Organ, just incredible bands like that. But, just as kids, that was a great place to come into, like, a rock and roll environment. Because, they'd wear the leather, they'd wear the dark, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were fantastic.
They show up, dude, you know what I mean? And you don't see that now. You don't see people, I'll say this: nobody ever has green hair, and nobody ever shows up as the Joker. You know what I mean?
I seen that one time. This guy here, that's incredible.
I've done that a few times. Solar Black was fantastic. You know what I mean?
I loved watching that when I was younger.
My cousin Tom was Matt Hatter. He was in a band called Downpour first. Mikey Butler and all those guys. You know what I mean? I remember seeing Mikey Butler when he was a kid, and he was just like a phenomenal guitar player, And I don't know if I was in a band yet or not, but it was just like, wow, But they're really talented guys, So I was pretty blessed to have been around that, coming into it, because then it was kind of like showing me like showmanship and you do a little something extra. Remember Creep Stash? I had silver makeup and green hair and
I tell you
about
what,
the most bizarre outfit you can think of.
Watching you in different bands over the years, you are one of the most entertaining frontmen I've ever seen. You're out there, you're putting on a show, you're wearing the outfits, and just what you do is just so fun, and it's exciting, and it's like, what's he gonna do next? And you'd always show up and you'd bring it, and it was just a lot of fun to watch, man.
I guess it kind of gets ingrained into you. You do it for so long, you practice every week, and you put all this time to it. Like I said, I've made a lot of our T-shirts in different bands or on flyers. You know what I mean? Like, I put that effort in. So you're putting all this effort into it. You want to bring it when you bring the show. You know what I mean? Well, it's always good to hang out with a great songwriter like yourself and play songs like "Welcome to My World."
Well, I tell you what, just coming over here and hanging out with me and jamming, I really appreciate that, because that's just what it's all about, is just having a nice time, making some music, and just hanging out with some good friends and just enjoying it.
Remember, not everybody's as blessed to have played "Welcome to My World," with you in the past and all that stuff. So, but check out the song, dude. It's great. It's tune ought to be on the radio or something, dude. It's catchy. I love it.
Dang it! You chose a song that I wrote, and that just is amazing to me. Like I said, it leaves me speechless. So thank you for that.
Well, like I said, it was a no-brainer, dude. I thought about because he said covers, and I was thinking a million different directions. Like, what am I gonna do? It's gonna be something, and I'm like, there's only one song I want to do, Johnny Costa. That's "Welcome to My World," baby. So enjoy the song, enjoy the show. Enjoy the future shows, past shows. Make sure you go back and check them out if you haven't seen them. I've watched them both, and I thought they were both fantastic.
I think you're fantastic.
And it is what it is. Like you said, it's not a competition. So.
And it's just a great thing. Thanks, music speaks to the soul, man, and it's for all of us. That's what I'm saying. We'll just keep on doing it, and you keep on doing it. But it's JC3 with Darth Weevil, episode number 3 in the books. We'll see you next time. Let's get out of here.